The year is 2005. You just bought a new copy of Resident Evil 4. You come home, you pop it into your PlayStation 2. Now you're at the main menu of Resident Evil 4. You click start, and this is the first thing that you hear.
Resident Evil 4.
And then you text your friends and tell them how awesome Resident Evil 4 is, but nobody is responding. And then you ask yourself, where's everyone going? Bingo? No, Johnny. Nobody's going to bingo. Everybody is just too busy playing Resident Evil 4. You're so busy playing Resident Evil 4 because it's such an awesome game. Your mom comes down the stairs to tell you that dinner is ready. She asks you to come upstairs and then you say,
"No thanks, bro."
Ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to be talking about a new leak that has been circulating around recently about the Resident Evil 4 remake. So I feel like, well, obviously, let's state the facts first. So the fact is, this game has been unannounced, okay? So it hasn't been officially announced yet. But there's been so many small details here and there, like, you know, the Leon actor posting, you know, himself in motion capture on Instagram. There's articles coming out about, oh, you know, Capcom is reworking the teams that are going to be working on this remake. And one thing I know about Resident Evil is whenever I hear a leak about a new Resident Evil game, I will always believe it because every time in the past I've heard a leak about a new Resident Evil game, it's always came true. And I feel like even if you weren't looking at any of these articles, you just didn't have social media in general, I feel like it's kind of obvious that Capcom is sometime down the road going to make a Resident Evil 4 remake. I mean, Resident Evil 4 is one of the greatest video games of all time. Not just one of the best Resident Evil games, one of the greatest video games of all time. If you look at a lot of these top 50 or top 30, top 20, top 10 best games of all time, for the most part, you're going to find Resident Evil 4 on a majority of those lists. And in case you guys didn't know, Resident Evil 4 is my personal favorite video game of all time. I grew up with the game. It's, again, such an amazing game. So I don't want to risk any sort of strike on the channel or anything like that. So I'm not going to show the concept art that's supposedly been leaked, but this is a rumor. I'm not sure if it's actually confirmed, but supposedly the actor who's going to play Albert Wesker in the new Resident Evil 4 remake supposedly leaked some concept art. And it's basically Albert Wesker in the new Resident Evil 4 remake with, he's got like a burnt arm, he's got, you know, his typical sunglasses, you know, it looks like Albert Wesker. So the point of this video is I want to talk about this a little bit and also want to give, you know, some insight on this remake, when I think it's going to be announced and things like that, you know, maybe some important things that, you know, maybe you guys didn't think about before. So, I mean, for the concept art, I really can't say much. I mean, it looks like Albert Wesker. You know, I'm pretty excited. You know, my favorite video game is getting a remake. I'm super excited. And when it comes to this concept art, there's not much I could say. I think Albert Wesker looks amazing in this remake if the, you know, art is real. If you leaked it on purpose, that's kind of a dumb thing. I don't know why you would do that, especially when you're, you know, under an NDA. And supposedly he's been, you know, this is the same voice actor that voiced Albert Wesker in Resident Evil 5. So it's like, you've been working with Capcom for so long. Why would you leak it? But if it was an accident, well, you know, accidents happen. Even though, you know, if you're working on a big game like this, especially a game like this, you shouldn't be sharing images like that, you know, regardless. So the fact that it's getting leaked and stuff like that, it makes me think, is Capcom gonna show this game sooner rather than later? And I want to point back to Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 8 had so many leaks before they actually started showing gameplay. I mean, cutscenes were being leaked, concept art, I mean, you know, titles and locations, enemies, like so much was being leaked about that game before it came out. So that's why when people are like, oh, Capcom must show the Resident Evil 4 remake now since it's getting leaked, I don't think they're going to show it anytime this year. I could be wrong. They might show it at the Game Awards or whatever. They might show it at some sort of event in December, but I highly doubt it. I would love for them to show it, but I feel like it would probably be the best bet to wait till next year. I think December probably isn't the best month to show it. Some people might say it's the best month. I think it's best for Capcom to wait till next year. But for my prediction, I don't think they're going to release the game in 2022. I think 2023 is probably going to be, I would say, the latest, honestly. I feel like the Resident Evil 4 remake is going to release in 2023. That's my honest prediction. I know there was rumors that Capcom was developing a Nintendo Switch exclusive Resident Evil game. Supposedly Rebecca was going to be the main star. I feel like that's going to be their next game, but again, this is Capcom. They tend to change things around a lot. So maybe they might wait and they might release the Resident Evil 4 remake first and then that, you know, Nintendo Switch exclusive. But I still don't believe that because, you know, if we're going based off of these leaks and rumors and things like that, supposedly supposedly this Nintendo Switch exclusive is a build-up off of Resident Evil 8. Apparently all of the cut ideas from Resident Evil 8 are being put into this Nintendo Switch exclusive, so the game is pretty much almost done if we're going by the leaks, of course. So my prediction is next year we're going to get this Nintendo Switch, or just some sort of other Resident Evil game in general. And we also have Resident Evil ReVerse. I couldn't think of the name for some reason. We also have Resident Evil Verse releasing next year, which is that like mini battle royale Resident Evil game that got delayed. So I feel like we're going to get maybe 2 Resident Evil games next year, and then in 2023 we're probably going to get the Resident Evil 4 remake, and if anything 2024 the latest. I'm really excited for this game. I'm going to be honest, when I was hearing rumors that Resident Evil 4 was going to get a remake, at first I wasn't too excited, only because I'm one of those people that thinks Resident Evil 4 does not need a remake right now. I could pop up the game right now. I mean, the footage you're looking at right now was just recorded recently. I love this game to death. I could still grind this game out to this day. I think there's so much about this game that so many modern games don't do, you know, and there's just so much about this game, you know, so much charm in this game that I feel like no other game can replicate. You got the music and the bosses and the enemies and the sound design and the mechanics. I mean, there's so much about Resident Evil 4 that, again, no other game can top. But I will say, I'm not saying that, you know, there's things about Resident Evil 4 that can't be improved. I'm just saying that for what it is, Resident Evil 4 is a perfect game in my eyes. But if we're being logical here, Resident Evil 4 does need a lot of improvements. Obviously, the graphics, the sound design, things like that, which of course is expected in a modern AAA game, right? We expect good graphics and good sound design. But when it comes to the story, I do think the story in Resident Evil 4 could be improved on a little bit. But when it comes to the locations and the bosses and things like that and all the different characters, I feel like those should be untouched. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Regardless, let me know your guys' thoughts on the Resident Evil 4 remake down below. Are you guys excited? Are you guys not excited? Be sure to let me know. A thumbs up on the video is greatly appreciated, and as always, I will catch you ladies and gentlemen all in the next one, and peace out.